We have so much stuff. Oh, and we're live, my friends, I believe. We are live. Hey, flower friends. It is your friend in flowers, Lisa Mason Ziegler, and welcome to the live gardening show. How about this? Look at this didiscus. Look at these babies. Is that like 100% germination or what? This is the lace white. I have all three of the colors. How beautiful. I just love seedling, y'all. All right, my friends. Well, we are so happy to be here with you guys today. It is a nasty day in Virginia. It's nasty for people, but it is perfect cool flower weather. We have cold rain. Our beds are open, and everybody is just having a happy time out in the garden. So, friends, if we've never met before, my name is Lisa, and welcome to today's show, which is jam packed because we have a lot going on. Today, we're going to learn about seedling care, about getting those seedlings grown up inside and moving them out to the garden. I'm going to demonstrate how I start seeds. And, friends, we have another new introduction this week. Y'all blew us away last week, and we sold out of the new introduction last week. Well, you're going to love the one this week. Stick around. And we have our Bouquet studio. Susie Q is going to be doing a little flower fiddling for you. And then we're always doing a free prize drawing for in-app viewers. So that'll be happening. And remember that I always do a little Q&A wrap up at the end of the show. And we are going to do that today. And if you have a question that comes up during the show, in the comments below, you can put at Lisa, type whatever your question is, and the team will gather those up and we'll answer some of those at the end of the show. Now, before we get started, down here at the bottom of your app window is the share button. And friends, I want to just thank every one of you that has shared and invited your friends to the show. And that's how you can actually do it. And we appreciate it so much when you do that. And so I have a lot of things to tell you today. Y'all, I have a free live masterclass that's coming up. Where to sell your flowers. There's 2 dates to choose from. If you went after the show, just go head over to thegardenersworkshop.com. It's in the yellow banner at the top of each web page, and pick your date and show up, and I will reveal where you can sell your flowers. Now, please remember when you're checking out with your orders to double check your email and phone numbers. Check for typos and all that kind of stuff. We can't make you a shipping tracking ticket unless we have that information. Now, if you've just discovered us by stumbling upon me here on social media, I'm so glad you're here. But I want you to know that we have a live app or a free phone app, and you can do so much more inside. This is what it looks like. And you can watch replays, build a favorites list. You can participate in the comments between the other live viewers, which is always a very lively conversation, as well as participate in the giveaway. You can't do that from social media. We can't see you. And you can submit questions for the Q&A when you're inside the app. But the icing on the cake is, y'all, that we have special shipping rates here inside the app. If you place an order with seed packets only, we pay the shipping. And we have a cap on product shipping of $11.95. Doesn't matter how many products you purchase, it's just $11.95 once. And we do ship to all 50 of the United States. And remember, these special shipping rates are only available inside our app. You can't get them. They won't work over on our website. Okay. So during the live show, like for instance, these new introductions that we're doing frequently sell out during the show. And if you go to one of those products and it says out of stock, get notified, I would suggest that you get notified. That simply means that when they get put back in stock, if they are going to be put back in stock, you'll get a little notification on your phone and you won't miss out on that. Now, friends, especially over here inside the app, I just absolutely love it when I see all these sunflower emojis, those are our TGW family just sending us some love. And who is that? Those are our online course students and my members of my private flower farming club. And we just feel the love when y'all do that. And I thank you so much. So if you're in the app and you want to participate in the giveaway, I'm giving away a $25 store credit today. Hit that white giveaway box to get on the wait list, and that's what we pull it from at the end of the show. You have to be present to claim your prize. So hit that button and get going. Now, my friends, friends, we have another new introduction, and you are going to absolutely love this one. Y'all know that we live like 10 minutes from Yorktown, Virginia, right? I mean, there is no more patriotic place to live than here. And we have made another fantastic seed set. It's red, white, and bloom, y'all. It is in honor of the 250th anniversary of the United States. And y'all, this is going to be such a beautiful little garden to pick from. So we have in this set the gorgeous scarlet red Benary's giant zinnia, always a favorite. The white afternoon white Cosmo, which is the biggest of all the Cosmos and so showy. Blue Azuratum, which will just set the whole stage in that bouquet, right? As well as Miss Burns lemon basil, y'all. No better smell than lemon. And for an explosion like fireworks, explosion grass. Y'all, this is going to be the sweetest little bouquet. And our seed sets, this is how they come to you. It's got the little picture on it. And so this is those 5 individually packaged seeds. It's a limited edition. It's $19.95, which is a savings from buying all the seed packets separately. And this is the red, white, and bloom. And we just can't wait to see the bouquets y'all are going to be posting about those. And y'all know, anytime you post something like that, just tag us. We're happy to share that. So red, white, and bloom. Now, last week we introduced a seed set and it sold out in so quick that we have restocked it, right? So that is the Secret Romance. How beautiful are they, y'all? And so we have these seed sets, limited quantities, but they're back in stock. Again, it's 5 different seeds. Look at that flamingo feather, which is one of my favorite plumes. Look how greeny the tips are, y'all. I love that. Then there's the lime blotch, queenie zinnia. Look at that pink in the center. And then the cinnamon basil, which really brings a great contrast to the bouquet. And then the double click white Cosmo, which is just so beautiful, along with the Love in a Puff. Those are the seed pods. This stuff hydrates beautifully for bouquets. So this seed set is back in stock. You get all 5 of the seed packets. This is how it comes to you. Um, and while supplies last, it's $19.95. And I know that this is going to be another super sweet one. All right, so let's talk about some seedling care. So we're talking about, getting them growing up inside and getting them to the field. So we're kind of jumping in. We're jumping past. You've already got them up and going, right? And so you're continuing to water every single morning. And when you come out in the morning to water, they should be pretty dry when it's time to water again. We're giving them 16 to 18 hours of sunlight a day. And we're continuing that weekly, watering with liquid organic fertilizer, right? And so now we have 2 different fertilizers from you to choose from. In addition to the one that we've had for years, we have brought a new one on board, the FOOP garden plant food, because y'all, the number one problem with the Neptune seaweed fish, it can be a little stinky if you're using it inside your home where you can't contain it, right? So this is the FOOP garden concentrate to mix with your water. It's for flowers, vegetables. It's for everything you can use it with. And guess what it's made from? Fish manure, fish emulsion, kelp, ash, fungi, and peppermint oil. And the peppermint oil overpowers um, all of that stinkiness. It's kid and pet friendly. It's got a really pepperminty smell. It's organic certified. It's made in the USA, and you can use 1 to 2 ounces per gallon. It's $24.99, and just like I like to do for fertilizers, like I do with getting compost for my garden. I love using different sources. So there's different biology in each one. So I'm not using this and forgetting fish and seaweed. I'm just adding it into the rotation, right? So that is the Fook garden flower. And then, the other thing that I haven't talked about much, because when we just had the Neptune seaweed fish, it is so aromatic that it's really difficult to use it as a mist to mist your seedlings or to even mist your seed beds on tops of your soil blocks. But Fook has a foliar feed mist. It comes in a spray bottle and it smells minty, y'all. So it doesn't make you want to just move out of your house when you spray it. I love spraying my soil blocks after I've sown them. Not every day, but occasionally. And you can buy the ready-made mix, which is what this is. And it's got all the same. It's made in the USA. It's got fish emulsion and fish manure and kelp. It smells pepperminty. And there is even a concentrate of this available that you can mix your own at home. But this one comes to you ready to roll. And it really adds additional biology. And, I learned about misting seed beds from an organic lawn care guy. And he said that was their secret, that they actually, after they seeded lawns, they sprayed it with either compost tea or organic fertilizer. And so here you go is your organic fertilizer. Now, we are still using our Neptune seaweed and fish, but this is it's great to have an option. I mean, if you're having company and it's time to fertilize, you might not want to use this and use the other. But we still love using this. This is what I typically add to my watering can on Mondays. I also use this out in the garden for a soil drench. That just means mixing it up in a gallon, y'all, and pouring it on the soil. And you can foliar feed with this. All the instructions are right on the back. I use the houseplant dose. So seaweed fish is still on our list and near the top. Now, I mentioned that our friend Paul Tukey, he had a HGTV show years ago that I spoke. We shared a room one time for speaking, and he shared with me that he uses compost tea to actually spray lawns. And so these are our compost tea bags that you can drop into a gallon of water to steep overnight, and then you can use this for foliar feeding as well, and for spraying your seed bed, your bed of soil blocks with your seed sown in it, or your sunflowers, or whatever it is that you're starting. All of this stuff, one is not better than the other. They all just do a little something a little bit different. So just mix it up and cover all of your bases. Now, we don't want to forget that throughout the whole seed starting process, we are always using our fungus gnat prevention steps. If you wait until you get fungus gnats, it takes a really long time to get a grip, and they are really make you a little crazy. Those are the little gnats that fly around. These are the mosquito bits. It's BT. It's safe. It's harmless to beneficial insects and pets. And we put it once a week into a gallon of water. It's 4 tablespoons. I let it steep overnight. And when I water on Wednesdays, everybody gets a dose of the BT water that kills any developing larva that's in your moist soil. Okay, this is what it looks like when you have a breakout of fungus gnats. This is our yellow sticky trap. Look at all those fungus gnats. Those guys are the ones that are laying the eggs on your soil surface. You can get these adult traps There's 5 cards for $9.95, and you can buy these two things separately, or you can buy them together in a set with a little bit of a savings for $23.65. Prevention is the key, y'all, to prevent fungus gnats. Now, let's look at seedlings that are ready to go to the garden and some that aren't ready to go to the garden, right? So in general, the rule is that I'm looking for a 3 to 5 inch tall plant, or in this case, this is straw flowers, and they grow from the base. They don't have a central stem. I'm looking for a leaf that's about 3 to 5 inches tall, of which all of these qualify for. This is the size that they go to the garden, and these are growing in the small 3/4 inch block. Now these didiscus that we saw earlier are not quite big enough yet. Bobo thought that she would wait until next week to plant these because they're only about 2 inches tall. They just don't have enough substance to actually sustain them outside. So these are going to get another week. So once they get to the straw flower size, or actually a little bit before that, we move our seedlings outdoors to a safe hardening off area. That means that it provides some protection. You want to protect from sun and wind, and if it gets really cold outside, you want to be able to bring them back in. And what this does is it slowly acclimates them to the outdoor elements, and especially the wind. Wind will just lay your seedlings down really quickly if they're tender. So you have to pay attention to that. And we do that for for cool season hardy annuals, we do it for about 5 to 7 days before they get planted out. But with warm season, we do it 10 to 14 days outside to get them fully acclimated before we put them out on into the garden. And you just have to keep your eye on the weather and make sure your seedlings are protected until they are hardened off. Now, we like to actually mulch our beds out in the garden before we plant in the garden. That is so much quicker, y'all. You just won't even believe it. So if you want to do a quick way to do it with maybe something you might have on hand, we like to use wet newspaper, put it in a wheelbarrow, submerge it, take out several sheets, and just cover your entire bed overlapping, and then top it immediately with either something like bark or pine straw or shredded leaves. So if you're not doing much, that works really, really well. But what we switched to using is the biodegradable film. This is a film that's made out of a plant byproduct, and it is super easy to poke a hole through. It is dark on one side, light on the other. It lasts a growing season, and then it breaks down. You can incorporate it into your soil. It's 48 inches wide, and you can get a 20-foot piece for $14.95 or a 50-foot piece for $24.95. And this is just the quick and easy way, and it suppresses weed seeds from germinating beautifully. We love it. And this is how it comes to you in a nice little package. And there's videos on our products if you want to see it being put down. So we typically plant our warm season tender annuals and our cool season typically 6 inches apart. And did you know that doing that with your single stem sunflowers, that actually controls the size of the heads? Especially if you're growing for cut flowers, you want a smaller bloom, right? And so there's 3 different tools that we use for popping these into the ground through the biodegradable film. We call this the Bobo weeder. Bobo works here with us, and she's the official planter here on the farm. And this is actually a dandelion weeder. And this is what she pops all the holes with. And plants those plants right through the biodegradable film. Another great little tool is the mini dibber. Look at this, y'all. This is like having a wooden finger. I love this thing. This is great for container gardening too. It's 6.5 inches long. It's $7.95. Love this. This would be a great Easter basket gift. And then my sister's favorite tool is the Hori Hori. This is great for planting, particularly when you're planting those 2-inch blocks. You just stab, pull, drop your block in, and pull your knife out. Love this thing. It's super heavy duty. It's great for prying stuff out of the garden, getting rocks up out of the garden. You won't believe the things that you'll do with this that you just didn't know that you really needed it instead of using your other tools you shouldn't use, like your pruners. So this is the Hori Hori, and it is $52.95, and it's 11 3/4 inches long, and it comes with the sheath. So when we plant out in the garden through the film or whatever you're planting through, we immediately follow that up with watering well. And depending on what we're planting and the time of the year, I love providing covering and protecting my plants with a row cover. And that is because, or insect netting. And I'll give you the details on that. But what I'm really doing is protecting my new seedlings from digging squirrels and munching rabbits, as well as any elements that may be a threat to them. So first, at this time of the year when I'm planting cool season hardy annuals, I really love using our row cover because it blocks the wind, but it allows 85% of the air and light to actually get through. And using it for about 14 days just does a great job of protecting from the elements and the pests. And so it's 6.5 feet wide. It comes in a 20-foot piece for $12.95 or a 50-foot piece for $26.95. Now, I love using this when heat is not a threat, right? Like in summer, once we start doing that. So, but if in summer, if I do want to protect my plants, and in fact, I have to protect my plants in certain parts on my farm because the squirrels notoriously will uproot an entire freshly planted bed. And that's when I use insect netting, which kind of may seem like row cover, but it's not. First off, this is nylon. It's much more durable. It's stretchy like a pair of pantyhose, and it allows more air and light to get through it. And it doesn't trap heat like row cover does. So we love using this in a lot of different ways. You can see the videos on the product. You can easily cut it. It's 6.5 feet wide. A 20-foot piece is $33.95. And this is much more durable and easy to work with than row cover. Love insect netting, y'all. It is super easy and just gives you peace of mind, right? Now, how do I hold down the row covers and the insect netting? That's when we use these weight bags. These weight bags come with this string at the top that you can tie it closed. We fill these bags with either sand, soil, or gravel. And this is about what you're aiming for. This is about a 15-pound bag. And we use those on top of the insect netting, row cover, and even silage tarps. And that doesn't rip the product like clips and those kinds of things will do. So these come in a 10-pack for $10.95, and you will never have enough of them. We still don't have enough of them, and I've been doing it for 30 years, y'all. So weight bags are pretty helpful. Now, this is our flower support netting, and this is plastic. It's really a cost-effective, quick, and easy way to support your plants. So you literally just suspend it above your plant bed with garden stakes and make it taut, and then your flowers grow up through the netting. But we also use it for a planting grid. We lay it on the bed. The holes are 6 inches, y'all. It makes for perfect spacing, but we don't leave it down. We put it down, we plant, and we roll it right back up. So this is super easy to cut. We reuse it year after year. It's 36 inches wide, and it comes in a 20-foot piece for $11.95 and a 50-foot piece for $21.95. And we are going to begin netting in probably 2 to 3 weeks because our cool flowers are already starting up. Y'all don't let the tall ones get away from you. Now, right about in the next few weeks is when we're all going to discover. I'm looking ahead one. I was going to say why we should have marked our plants, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So if you have sweet peas like we do, we use the green vertical netting. This is also netting just like the white, but it's green and it's a different size. It's 6.5 feet tall by 30 feet long. And we install posts in our garden and then put this up. And what I love about this is that it's green, y'all. You don't really see it since it's upright this way out in your garden. See the horizontal netting when your flowers grow up through it, it just disappears. So this makes this disappear once it's upright. So this is $14.95, and you'll just love it because it doesn't stand out in the garden. Now, back to marking those beds. So we're all about to realize what we should have marked last fall. I'm there, you know. So we love this label and marker bundle. This comes with 10 of these 18-inch, 10 of these 12-inch, and it includes our all-time favorite garden marker that holds up outdoors in the elements when written on wood and plastic and masking tape. Y'all, for months and years even. This is $24.95, and you will absolutely love this. So I tend to write on one side. Then the next time I write on the other side. And then you know what I do? I just dip the top into either paint or spray paint it, and then you can write on it all over again. Love the bundle markers. Oh, look at this. Here is, this is a sweet pea marker that was out in the garden for over a year. And look how clear you can still read it. It really, really holds up. Suzanne, you want to talk about this one?
Hey guys, so I'm going to talk about some copper plant markers, and these are just, not only are they pretty in your garden, but they are permanent. You can see that we wrote zinnia on this. You use a ballpoint pen and just put like a little towel behind it and bear down, and it actually engraves it. You can see it through the back. So even if the ink wears off, you will always know that that is where your zinnias are planted. It's great for shrubs and perennials, especially that die back in the winter, and bulbs, because you never remember where you planted your bulbs. Where do I plant my, flowers that's coming up if I don't know where my bulbs are? So the copper plants are 2 5/8 inch across. They're 10 inches tall, and they're come in a pack of 25. They're 28.95, and this is a perfect gift for someone that gardens. I need to get some of these for my neighbor.
That would be a great neighbor gift.
Yeah, it's a great neighbor gift. And next, Lisa's going to tell you about one of our books.
Hey, and I want to give a big old shout out. I see that Drew is on here. Hey, Drew of Clary Joyce Flowers, and thanks for joining us and your comment about the bio. So, friends, I want to tell you about my book, Vegetables Loves Flowers. This is not about growing vegetables, y'all. This is about why vegetables really love growing in the presence of flowers, right? So, in here, I thought I'd show you a little bit. Look at our berry girl. That is Barry wearing a flower crown, sitting in a field of buckwheat. And she's opening the chapter of Growing a Healthy Garden, y'all. This book really shares about my gardening philosophy of how to do it without using pesticides. And there's just all kinds of information in this section. Really love this. It's got a lot of seed starting. There's some beans in there. So I do show some vegetables to qualify that, title and everything, y'all. But it's also got a lot of stuff about seed starting. And look at the back. Do y'all know how hard it is to photo orange flowers? Our photographer was so proud of this image. This is a book that if you have somebody or if you are just starting to grow some cut flowers or even just flowers, and maybe you're a vegetable grower and you're just not sure why you should give room to flowers in your vegetable patch, this book will show you the way and then give you the very basic, simple steps to actually do it. So I would love to sign a copy, and it also comes with a free video book study. I interview the photographer, my sis and I talk about it. So it's really a lot of fun. And when you buy it from us, you get that free video book study. Would love for you to have one. Now, I just want to remind everybody, if you want to be entered into the $25 store credit contest, hit the button and that will put you on the list. And remember, I'm going to be answering a few questions at the end. So put in the comments at Lisa and your question, and we will do our best. So Y'all, we're going to look at my very favorite way to start seeds, and that's with soil blocking. And so, what got me to soil blocking was how incredibly space savvy it was because, I still don't have any structures. I can't have one in the city. And so, soil blocking really showed me the way. This little tray, which is 15 by 5, I believe, this is 100 transplants. This is Didiscus. That's about a week away from being ready to go outside. Look at that germination. That's what I experienced with soil blocks. Stronger and easier seed germination, right? So let's look how you can actually get started soil blocking. And guess what, y'all? Back in stock, and it is the deal of the day. So let's look at it. Oh, we're going to demo first? Let's show it while we're here. You think? Okay. So let's look at the kit. The kit's been out of stock for a month, y'all. So it's back. It's got the Ladbroke brand soil blockers. We import these from England. That makes 20 of the small 3/4 inch blocks. And we have the blocking mix back in stock. This is a 6-quart bag of the blocking mix. You just add water. It also includes my Seed Starting Made Easy online course that walks you from starting, growing them up, hardening them off, and getting them out to the garden. And you have lifetime unlimited access to that. Then you get your choice of either 3 cool season seeds or 3 warm season seeds. And you make that selection as you're checking out. And then it also has 5 of our large reusable foam trays. It holds 3 sets of 20. So 60 plants will fit and grow on this tray. It includes our aluminum seed pan, our little plant markers, and our 25-year anniversary toothpick containers, right? So you get all of that. Okay. So the regular kit price is $89.87, and that is a 19% savings over buying separate. But today through Sunday morning at 8 a.m. or until we sell out, it is 20 more percent off, y'all. It's $71.90 to get everything you need to start soil blocking, right? So grab them while they're available, and let me show you how we do it. All right. So get y'all looking down here in the tray. So my blocker doesn't look quite as shiny as the one we just saw. And I do use a potato masher to mix the blocking mix with the appropriate amount of water, which is included with all your instructions. You hold the stationary bar and push it down into the blocking mix a couple of times to be sure that the chambers are full. I strike off the bottom to make sure it's flat. And we use, this is key for folks that don't have greenhouses. We use trays with no drainage holes so you can like do it anywhere inside your home. And you get squeeze the plunger, and we that quickly just made 20 little containers, right? So they are going to be, a seed will be sown in here. It's going to sprout and grow up in this tray. And this small block is what I actually plant out in the garden. So we do recommend, oh, here we go. We recommend that you use the proper size tray for the number of blocks that you're actually going to be using, because your seedling heat mat and grow light space is a premium, right? Have room for everything. So if you're only starting 20 blocks, this is the little mini, a 5-pack, which is $1.95. These are reusable for years foam trays, y'all. Then we have the small, which holds 2 sets of 20, which is $2.95, and the large, which holds 3 sets for $3.95. So you would never just put one set of 20 on here and then set on your heat mat with all this wasted space. I use so many different size trays, y'all. And that's why I'm always jockeying. Even after 30 years, I still don't have enough heat mats, grow lights, nothing. Ever do you have enough. So be sure you use the appropriate size trays. Now, we do have our blocking mix back in stock, y'all. So this is our ready-made blocking mix. It's different packaging, but it's the same product inside. It's $15.95, and you just add water and go. We recommend sifting, and I'll tell you about that in a moment, but you do not need to add any nutrients at the seed germinating stage. So we recommend sifting all seed starting mix, whether you make it at home or if you buy the ready-made mix. And this is our plastic sifter that fits perfectly on top of a 5-gallon bucket that makes the job neat and easy to do. And so if you're making your own soil at home, I mean, we sift all the ingredients, but when you or even using the ready-made mix, you have to sift it. And why? Because there's chunks. Why are there chunks? That's where the biology lives, y'all. That's what we do not use sterile soil. These chunks that you sift out, they're not bad stuff. You just need to put them in your garden. We don't want them in the fine seed mix that we're using. So sift everything. The ready-made mix is ready to sift and go, or be sure to sift your ingredients. So you can purchase our little aluminum seed pan, which means there's no static electricity, along with our toothpick dispenser. That was from our 25-year anniversary, and the toothpicks. It's $2.95. This little aluminum seed pan will change your life. You can't believe how much quicker you actually sow seeds. I'm frequently asked about, do you really need a seedling heat mat? And yes, you do. And so most seeds in general germinate best at 75 to 85 degrees. And you're probably thinking right now, my house is 72. I think I'm okay. Well, that's your air temperature, friend. We're talking soil temperature. Typically, your soil temperature, the mass of soil, is 15 to 20 degrees cooler than the air temperature. So if your house is 70, that means your soil is 55, and that explains why you don't get germination. This heat mat, which has a built-in thermostat, actually heats the soil up 15 to 20 degrees warmer than your air temperature. It solves the problem. This is $39.95, and it will help you get better germination, more uniform, and more quickly. Now, the grow light. Let me see what you can see here. This is such the perfect little in-home grow light. You can see how small it is. You can fit 4 of those foam trays that I just showed you. 4 times 60 is 240. And that's in a like 12-inch by 24-inch space. It is a perfect home setup. The grow light is $81.95. So why are my seedlings so short and stocky? Because they've been under grow lights for 16 hours a day. If you set them on a windowsill, they've been this tall by now because of their stretching and looking for light. The grow light, just like a heat mat, is the missing ingredients for most people. The grow light and the heat mat are less than one visit to a nursery to buy plants, by far, y'all. Invest in your own self. All right. So my book, The Cut Flower Handbook. If you want to grow cut flowers, this book is going to answer all of your questions. How to set up, how to do every step to get your cut flower garden set up to be low maintenance, how to cut it, when to cut it, and then it's going to have the 66 different flowers that are my favorites, right? It has a bonus that comes with it of the 6 flowers that we could not fit into the book. So we get you the PDF download link so you can print it out, and this is what it looks like. And we recommend that you actually print it at 85% so you see it fits inside your book instead of sticking out. This has 5 additional cool season annuals and 1 warm. It's $30, and I can confidently say it'll answer every question you need to grow a cut flower garden of cool and warm season annuals, and I would love to sign one for you. Now, we were finally able this past year, to introduce my big calendar journal. Now, this is the big calendar. This is a result of the big calendar that I have used to run my farm for the last 15 years. It's what really made me into this amazing production succession outdoor succession planner, right? And so this is the cover of the calendar. It's 20 inches wide, 30 inches long. And it's not just a calendar by far, y'all. It is this second page, which is my guide. It walks you through 9 different planting windows. You plug in your frost dates and your winter low temperature, find your planting windows, and then walk through the steps to set up your seed starting schedule. And the last page of this calendar, and of course it has the monthly, it's an any year calendar, so you can write your dates in. But the last page of this calendar also includes my suggestions and tips on how to write on this calendar. The point of that is this calendar will become a powerful journal for your farm. I have 15 years of these. I pull them out every single winter to plan my next year, and I just gain so much reminders and wisdom and just so this is $39.95, and it also comes with my seed starting worksheet, and we send you a little package inside your box that has my favorite pencil to write on your calendar. And now my sis is going to be doing the Bouquet studio.
Hey guys, fun again. Now, any of you that were with us the last few weeks, any of you regulars may recognize these flowers. This is the third week I will be using these flowers, and especially this, I can't believe the feverfew is still looking great.
The
But
power of conditioning products.
you know what I did when we first got these is I put a little bit of Quick Dip in the water, a splash. Now, Quick Dip is really made to use. The florists use it when they get boxes of flowers in the back door. They cut the stems, they have a little dish of this, and they dip it in there, and it opens up the stem so that so it can drink water. And that's so important to hydrate them. But we have found out from a friend of ours that's an arranger that she just puts a splash in every bucket of her flowers, and we've tried it. And this is the third week I'm using these guys, so crazy how this stuff works. Now, these are retail flowers. We did not grow these, but I'm going to show you a little arrangement. And we're kind of in the red, white, and bloom theme, even though these are not the same flowers in that. I've been to the thrift store again, and yeah, gotta love it. This is just beautiful. I love it. Let me put this down so you can see it a little bit better. See the flowers. And I thought that I would use some of our floral netting for this. Now the floral netting, it comes in this little 12 by 48-inch sheet that's folded up. And really, it is just a kinder, gentler chicken wire that is coated, because sometimes chicken wire will rust, but this actually lasts longer. And this came from a bigger piece that I cut down to fit in here. So I'm just going to shove this down in my little crock. And I thought that I would use, let me take my gloves off, use a little bit of our clear Oasis tape
Oh, that's a good idea.
to hold it in place, because when you start adding flowers and moving them around, this is going to jiggle, and you want to make sure that this stays into place nice and tight. You could also just use this clear tape to make a grid and use it, but the wire really does hold everything into place a lot better than just the tape does. The floral wire is pretty strong. So that's pretty sturdy there. And the tape is a 1/4 inch wide, and it's 60 yards. So this is something you want to keep in your little arranging bag to have on hand, and it'll last you a really long time. $8.95. All right, so now I've got my mechanics all set up, and now we're going to put some flowers in here. And I'm not liking my camera.
No, it's just different with that
Yeah, it
banner
is a
on the
little bit
top.
different with the banner. I want y'all to see, but I feel like, okay, there you go. You can see better if I pull it towards me. So I wanted to show you these guys. And look, you see how the leaves are yellowing? Even though the top part still looks good, we're just going to pull those yellow leaves off, and it is still going to be a long-lasting, beautiful display of a little flower. And this time of year, we don't have greenhouses or hoop houses, so we don't have flowers this time of year. We're still waiting for our early spring stuff.
Sister,
Yes.
if y'all can hit the button at the bottom of your screen to hide the comments, if it's blocking so you can't see, and then you can bring the comments back.
And with this little floral netting, you could really do a big arrangement in this container. But if you know me, I like a shorter arrangement, especially if you're going to have it on a table that you're going to be sitting across trying to talk to someone. So I'm going to cut this a little bit. Also, we would need to put some water in here. I did not put water yet. Please remind me, girls, to
I'll
put
get
water in
some.
this. And so we have our feverfew. We only have a few stems of our feverfew left. And again, it's got some leaves that are yellowing. You do want to have all your leaves out of the water. You don't want any of the foliage down in the water level, or it will make your water yucky really fast. And when you're using this metal crumple wire, it is metal, and sometimes metal and flower foods don't have a good reaction. So don't think it's a problem with quick dip, but with regular flower foods, you just want to give that a try before you're using it on some big arrangement you're doing. So we're going to put some feverfew down in here, and it's just going to hold everything right in place where you set it. We have some beautiful eucalyptus, and here is our favorite little watering can that I don't think this is in the show, but you can find it in the store. And it is a stainless steel watering can. And we love it for flower arrangements and for seedlings because it has such a gentle flow. And you can get this into your arrangement without disturbing too many flowers to refill your arrangements. Because remember, if you're using garden flowers, they drink much more and very quickly. So you have to keep them constantly full of water. Keep checking those as you go along. Now we have some beautiful eucalyptus. We're going to put some of that in. And this crumple wire is just excellent for holding everything in place. We have some carnations, which I'm not usually a big carnation fan, but I'm
They're growing on me.
kind of liking this one, especially they last so long. So I guess it depends on what you're using them for. You want to get them and have them for something that's going to last a really long time.
Is anybody else growing our heirloom carnations? The Shabbat series. Mine looks so great out in the garden. I am stoked because in addition to being little and cute, they have a spicy smell to them. So I can't wait.
And look how big this stem is, but yet this floral netting will take a big stem. Lisa would often takes sunflowers to church, and they'll fit right down in there, even with the big stems of the sunflowers. She gets it to fit right into these the big openings of the floral
And
netting.
giant coxcomb too.
Yes, coxcomb too, but yet they're holding these little ones perfect. So let's get some more greenery around the front. I'm going to get some color in here in just a second. And I feel for you people. I am usually spoiled because I'm on a flower farm and we usually have a ton of flowers and I can just grab whatever I want. But when you're given a small bunch of flowers and you have to make it work, it's a little more challenging. So I get it now. But this stuff holds the flowers apart, so it makes them look like there's more flowers than you actually have. So we're just going to take some of these little guys, and you just repeat this same thing all the way back around so that you get it done on all sides. Use some more eucalyptus. And I'm just guessing about cutting. The ones that are going to be on the top, I make a little bit taller. The ones I want on the side or in the front, cut a little bit shorter and just see how they go. And after you do this more and more, you get more accustomed to what you're doing. I think since I only have one feverfew left, I'm going to pull it to the front a little bit. But I just love these. What are they, Lee's sister? These,
That's we don't grow that.
what is it
Sorry,
called?
I'm thinking my mind.
Star or something, isn't it?
Sea holly.
Sea holly, yes. Love the sea holly.
That's a perennial, and it is pretty dadgum cool.
And it just makes a great
I bet
show.
that's cool dried in a wreath or
So,
something.
because I want this to stick up further, I'm actually going to cheat and measure how far I should cut it. So I'm going to cut it according to the bottom. It's just the easy way to do it if you're not experienced. And see, that's a little too tall. So as usual, I always cut them too long.
It's scary to cut them short.
It is, but they just show so much better, especially if you have just a few flowers. Cutting them shorter just makes them give you more of a show. So here is my little front, and you would just continue around to the back and do the same exact thing, but the floral netting just really helps
Holds
you.
it.
It just holds it so that you can use less flowers and make it look more. If I had some filler that wasn't straight like this, that was a little more poofier, it would really it really goes further, and you can use less colorful flowers if you have a lot of good greenery.
And I was thinking, sister, and then wouldn't you go in and just tuck some foliage around the
Yeah,
edge
yeah, you
once you're
can do
done?
it under the
That just kind
bottom.
of
Hmm.
seals it to the base, you know?
Yep.
And,
You want to
you know,
fill in all your mechanics so that you can't see all of the stuff underneath, which from the front you really can't see, but it just
I
takes a
mean,
nice thrift store find. Any container that you can't see through, you could use the floral netting in. And any container that's glass, you could always make a grid with the tape. So hope this is helpful. Don't be afraid to try. Start getting flowers every week and have fun. If they don't look good after you arrange it, cut it short. Fix it. Instant fix tip from Suzanne.
all right, friends. Now we are going to look at some of the warm season tender annuals that we're getting ready to starting here on the farm. So far, my last spring frost is mid-April. And so far, the only warm season tender annual that we have started is eucalyptus, because it's the slowest grower on the almost. I think it might even be slower than Lysianthus. Anyway, so I thought we would just do a little walkthrough of some of the stuff that we're going to be growing here on the farm and starting in the next couple 3 weeks. So y'all know that I am starting my flower, my transplants from the same seeds that you're buying. Literally, we no longer stock bulk seed here on the farm like I used to when we were in high production. I literally send a list up to the warehouse and they bring them here, and I am starting seeds from the same packets that you're starting from. And I love doing that so for lots of different reasons. But I just think that's kind of fun to know that we're starting from the same seeds. Now, how do you store your seeds? Keeping them cool and dry is what's necessary. And this is the desiccant packs, which absorb moisture and condensation and humidity. You can get a 2-pack for $2.95 or a 10-pack for $9.95. If you want to read a short read blog on how to store your seeds, visit thegardenersworkshop.com, go to the resources, go to our blog, and just search store, STORE. Rhonda wrote a great blog on storing seeds longer that tells you more about using those. So, more red, white, and blue, my friends. Where is that? Here. But it's not really red, white, and blue. It is red, white, and bloom, y'all. How beautiful is this? So, in this seed set is the Benary's Giant Zinnia, Scarlet Red, the white afternoon white Cosmo, which is the biggest Cosmo I've ever grown, and blue Azuratum, which just sets this up to be a red, white, and bloom, right? As well as lemon basil to push people over the edge when they go in for a sniff. And then the explosion grass, which we absolutely love in bouquets, just right above the canopy. It'll be so pretty. So this is how the set comes to you, with this pretty little ribbon with a card showing that same bouquet. 5 individually packed seeds for $19.95. And y'all, this is our 250th year anniversary. Living so close to Yorktown, this is so near and dear to our heart. All the battlefields, I mean, we are just so submerged in all of that stuff. And this is a great way to celebrate at home and honor all those that have gone before us. But let's look at some other reds. So, how about this? That is Bobo carrying an armload of giant red orange, or actually it's called orange red, Kurumi. Love these guys. Coxcomb has always been in our top 5. cash crops. This is the Kramer's mix. The Kramer's mix, which includes lime green, rose, and burgundy. This is the best coxcomb for drying. It just holds its color a little bit better. It was actually selected for those qualities. Love that one. These are all branching coxcombs, by the way. And then y'all know I'm an orange girl. Look at me. I got an orange shirt on. Here is my favorite. This is persimmon. And I absolutely love orange and hot pink in the summer for bouquets. It's just rocking, y'all. It is so pretty and so easy to grow. And then look at this. That is a bed of coxcomb higyoku. I know I say that name wrong every single time, but I love this. Look at the darker foliage, scarlet red blooms. You would love to have a ton of this for 4th of July, right? Then our bunny tails. Bunny tails is actually a cool season hardy annual, so it's actually a cool flower, but it doesn't really seem to matter when you plant it. It always is short, and that's okay. But this is the cutest, softest little grass you will ever meet in your life. I've recommended to flower farmers that go to farmers markets, you need to grow this in little pots. You will sell a bazillion of them. People can't keep their hands off of them. They are so very soft. All right. Oh, here we go. Then we have the flamingo feather. This is the one that's in that set for the secret romance. I love this spike, y'all. This is a celosia plume, super high producer. Love this guy. And then we have our fizzy white Cosmo. Now, I love fizzy. I don't know if y'all can tell. There's actually like a ruffled cut bloom in the center of this. Fizzy is one of my, I love white, first off. Fizzy is just such a great color. And then we're moving, this is the double click. Any Cosmo that has more than a single row of petals just lasts longer. Double click is the longest. This is the stage to harvest. Love this one. They continue to open inside. Thank you. Um, then look at this. If you want butterflies in your garden, this is the mix. This is the sensation mix. It gets tall. It's got such a variety of colors. And it is a butterfly natural. You can certainly cut it. Single blooms, though, they don't last as long. Then we have, oh, here we go. Look at the Cosmo double click snow puff. I mean, white makes everything pop, y'all. All right, what's next here? Here's the cupcake blush. If you're into, if you're doing events or you're selling to event people or florists, or if that's just your favorite color, this is cupcake, meat cupcake, y'all. Love her. She gets super tall too. This is my favorite fall Cosmo, Rubenza. If you've never grown this is how they bloom new. And then they fade. They fade like a pair of stone-washed blue jeans. And they actually get better with age. This is such a great fall addition. And y'all, did you see the reel I posted yesterday of me cutting some of these out in the garden? This is the White Swan Marigold. And it's not really white, it's really buttercream. And it's not advertised as no fragrance, but I will tell you it virtually has no fragrance. And I don't know if you know that the fragrance is the foliage, not the flower. So if you have a problem with marigold smell, just strip it and that goes away. But look at these blooms. They are so useful and long lasting. Then here is another red. That's a Scarlet Benary's Giant. Again, you can buy that individually. She is a beaut for summer. And then look at this one, the white. I love to cut it when it's green before those little yellow flowers pop. You learn you cut lighter colored flowers earlier than darker colored flowers in the stage to harvest stage, right? They just show damage so much easier. And this is another great red, deep red. It's definitely different than scarlet. Love that one. And we succession plant Blue Horizon Azuratum over and over and over again. Love this stuff. And then we have some amaranths. This is Velvet Curtains, which is an upright cranberry kind of color plume. Really useful. And as this season gets to long days, it blooms much quicker in the fall with short days. So if you plant it too early in the season when there's shorter days, you might get short stems, but not so in the middle of summer. Then we have Love Lies Bleeding, which is a draping maroon bloom, which is really kind of cool too. Now, this is a branching sunflower, which we typically don't grow as cut flowers, but we love having this one out in our garden. This is I always have to look, Rouge Royale, y'all. It used to be Moulin Rouge, and this is a really cool color. The problem with branchers, you can't control the size. They typically drop their petals earlier. And so that's the cutting problem, but these are fabulous out in the garden, and finches love the seeds that come. And then we have the Pro Cut Red, which is very similar to what we just saw. You can control the size of this one, and it holds its petals a little bit better. Love, I mean, we are Pro Cut fans for a lot of different reasons. And then also we have Sunfill, or let me see which one. Yeah. Yeah. So the sunfill is another variety of sunflower that we actually grow for the bud. Look at that bud, y'all. Such great filler to add to your bouquets. We love it before it even gets petals, right? So you can buy this as a mix. The purple is on the top. I'm sorry. This is the purple. I'm sorry. I thought that this was mixed. Okay, y'all. I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch, and that was a problem. Too much sugar. This is the purple sunfill. See the purple kind of blushes on the foliage? And then this is the green. And the top is the petals actually blooming. And the bottom is exactly what I grow it for. Look how cool that looks. It looks like a succulent, right? Really love that one. And it's a single stem, and we just love having it for filler. Now, the sunflowers that I start first, the colors, are the Pro Cut. This is White Night. This is a perfect spring colored sunflower to use. Really love this guy. Pest pressure is low then, and you can actually get the whites as the mix. That's the White Light on the top, the White Night on the bottom. So if you want to grow both, but you don't want to buy 2 packs, you can get them mixed together. Love the Pro Cuts. And then look at this. This is the Pro Cut Light. Look at that. How beautiful. Look at those buds. I mean, that center is this just makes this such a useful flower. And then one of my very favorite, this is our ornamental rooster peppers. That's a great cut flower. We had this grown for us. It's been selected as a cut. All the fruit is on the top of the stem. And we cut it fresh and green for use, or wait until the fall and use it red and dry it for actual wreaths. And you can eat it. It's just a hot chili pepper, y'all, but it is an awesome cut flower. The rooster pepper seeds are limited. And so Gumphrina is one of our favorite summer crops, y'all. Look, red for 4th of July. This is Strawberry Fields. This is just a great color, and that's what my whole background here is. These are all different Gumphrina colors. They dry so perfectly. So that's Strawberry Fields. Then we have the Gumphrina mix, which has strawberry, orange, and carmine, which is pink, which is a great way to meet the different colors, right? Love that one. And my all-time favorite, Gumphrina, the Audra series, white. How it's still green on the end, the tips are like in the center. That is so useful. That's what this wreath is made out of, dried. That's what it looks like. And then our explosion grass is just the best. I love it. Y'all, this is what made me be a flower farmer. I couldn't really pick. I had to grow them all. So friends, it is time for us to wrap up. Remember to stick around to the very end for the Q&A. And submit your questions now if you have them. And remember that those special shipping rates, that I mentioned are only available here in the app, as well as the deal of the day is not available over on our website. I hope you'll register for my free live class, the master class, Where to Sell Your Flowers. There's 2 dates to choose from over on our website, thegardenersworkshop.com. It's at the top of every page and a banner. Pick yours, sign up, look at your email because it's got a PDF that you need to print out, fill out a couple of questions, and then bring it. No, does that one have a PDF? I can't remember. Maybe it doesn't. I'm sorry. I think it does have a PDF. Read your email that you get when you sign up, y'all. I haven't been fully versed yet. Sorry. And so remember that you can head over to thegardenersworkshop.com. We have got so many free resources for you. Videos, blogs, our podcasts, and be sure to check out both of our podcasts, Field and Garden. Episode number 26 is Hardening Off Seedlings. And then, of course, we have Seed Talk with Lisa and Lane, that's full of great stuff, too. And, the Gardener's Workshop hosts Ask a Flower Farmer on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. And also on Instagram and on TikTok, 3 p.m. on Wednesdays. Join me for that. And remember to meet us back here. We do other live gardening shows. I do one on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. in the evening. And then if you remember to turn on your notifications here inside your app when I do pop-up shops, which means I basically go rogue and don't do them unscheduled, you'll get a notification. And I've got a hot one coming up, y'all. So be sure you turn your notifications on. And y'all, we have a winner for our $25 store giveaway, and I hope you're here. So the winner is Kim Leon. Is that Leon? I'm sorry if I killed your name. Kim Leon, you have won a $25 store credit. And as soon as you give us a shout out in the comments, the girls will drop 25 bucks right into your um and it's actually Lanion. Sorry, I kind of killed that. So Kim, if you are here, oh, Kim is here. Kim, thank you so much for participating and congratulations. The girls are dropping a $25 credit right into your cart as we're speaking right now. So congratulations. Okay, what's the best ambient temperature for snaps? Ambient's air temperature, right? I'm not assuming anything. I'm pretty sure. You think I would know this, y'all. So for all cool season hardy annuals, we are looking for a 65 to 70 degree air temperature, with a smidgen cool, kind of in that same range for a soil temperature. If you use our Seedling heat mat, it warms it up. That's why we keep it a little cooler air temperature than we do for warm season, so the heat mat doesn't get too warm. How to keep flowers from bending while using row cover cloth? That's a really great question. So first off, you can use hoops, which we typically now always use hoops. It prevents that from happening and it allows you to kind of use row covers for more different uses, and for a longer period of time. But typically, if you are using our lightweight row cover, which is Ag 19, it is called floating row cover, meaning it can be laid right on plants. Typically, when you take it off, the plants straighten up usually, but hoops will prevent that. Do you direct seed your grasses or start them in the small blocker? We start all of our seeds, our grasses indoors, and we do both. Limelight, because we grew such vast amounts of it, we start those in the 128 plug trays. But for a regular cutting garden, low numbers, if you don't need hundreds every week to plant, I would start them in the small soil blocker. Starting early plus some direct seeding after it passes frost day. The whole problem with direct seeding is weed pressure. It just takes more work. Takes more work, more seeds, and you start later than you do walking out with a seedling and plugging it in. So I don't have a lot of space for flower gardens. What are the best ideas and space requirements for planting sunflowers and other cut flowers? So in our app here and on our website, we have seed collections, not the sets that I talked about today, our collections, which actually have 6 packs of seeds, and they're made for a 3 by 10 foot cutting garden. And you can actually split it in half and make a 3 by 5, and it includes sunflowers as well as zinnias and coxcomb and basils. So I would recommend you check that out. It's the Cut Flower garden seed collection. It has some extra instructions with it, but that would work great for you. On seed packets from other companies, it usually says start seeds number of weeks before last frost. Does this basically translate to before planting out for cool flowers? So we purposely do not say when you're actually or at actual period in time to actually plant any seed because it's different for everybody, right? And so we tell you how many weeks before your planting window you're supposed to start the seed. That's what I have after farming for all these years and primarily only growing annuals. The one thing I have learned, your success rate and your quality is definitely depends on planting at the right time for that family, warm or cool season. And when I plant, cool season is not the same for you, perhaps, depending on where you live. So I can't comment about what they're talking about, but I understand what you're saying. And there's many warm season that fall to that would work for, but not all of them, right? I used I used my small blocker for the first time last weekend, but they didn't come out as big as yours. They're only about a half an inch tall. My zinnias have started sprouting. Will the blocks be big enough for them or should I bump them up to larger? I used your blocking soil. So I don't think you need to bump them because you only start zinnias 2 to 3 weeks before it's time to plant them outside. I have no idea where you are, but it's in the making of the block stage that typically happens. You may tip. What I have seen happen for people is instead you're supposed to only have your hands on the stationary bar when you're pushing it down in the soil. If you're doing it like this, you don't realize it, but you're pushing the plunger down when you're filling the chambers with soil, and that can cause that. That's a really common thing. That's why I always just make such a point of saying 2 hands on the stationary bar only as you're filling it, then you scrape it off, then you do this. So that may be what your problem is. But you should be fine if you started 2 to 3 weeks before it's time to plant them out, which would be after your last spring frost. You should be fine. And if not, I would just start again. Y'all, you have to be quick to do that. Just, oh, I made a mistake. I'm going to dump them and go on and do it again, right? How much water makes it through the bio mesh, the biodegradable film, I would guess, after it's laid down? I read that you are to have the irrigation under the bio mesh, but wondering if you need additional water. So the biodegradable film, it does not have perforations in it. So yes, the best case scenario is we lay T-tape, which is a type of drip tape, underneath the bio. However, we have a lot of people that use it doing hand watering. And so when you make the holes for your transplants, if you have a 20-foot bed, it's not really a big deal to hand water. And if you shape your bed like we recommend in my books, where it's slightly depressed in the middle, so the water kind of runs to the middle and then soaks in instead of running off the bed if it's mounded, it's really easy to hand water it. But if you have irrigation under the biodegradable film, you don't need anything additional. Heat mat. What temperature do I need to germinate zinnias and cosmos? So zinnias, warm season tender annuals typically love it warmer, 75 to 85 degrees soil temperature. And I mean, our grow room, I keep my grow room over 75 degrees when warm season stuff starts. And if you have a 75-degree room, that's really heating your soil up. And that's what warm season tender annuals really love. That's why ours pop so fast and why they grow on so fast. For home garden beds that will have roses and the seeds I'm starting, is it okay to use pine mulch? My seedlings are ready to be planted. Yeah, we use pine straw mulch. However, what I would be cautious about, one of the things that I love about the biodegradable film, so I used mulch for years, organic mulch, straw, pine straw, leaves, and bark. To have enough of any of those products deep enough to truly block the sun from getting to the surface of the bed, which is what sprouts the weed seeds, the mulch has to be pretty deep. And when you plant a small seedling into deep mulch, mulch shifts. I mean, there's just a lot of things that happen to seedlings in that case scenario. So saying that, I would say if you're going to be planting into pine straw, I would let my seedlings get more at the 5 inch or a little bit bigger before I planted into that, or to pull the mulch back when you plant and then in a couple of weeks move it in a little bit closer. You just don't want your seedlings to be overcome by the mulch, but that's fine. That works great. Any tips for critters biting holes in the insect netting? I have one of those at my house. I assume chipmunks, mice, since the holes are so small. You know who else? Birds. Birds. I watched the cutest little wren, one of those Carolina wrens that has a short little tail that sings all those beautiful songs. I watched him on the hoop, sitting on the hoop, just pecking little holes in the insect netting. I'm sure he was going in there to make a house. So no, I don't have any tips because what are you going to do? But yeah, I feel your pain. Could wet newspaper help with weeds in holes after transplanting to fabric? With our scale, we use fabric, and whole weeding is so hard for me and my staff to stay on top of. So I don't think so. We don't use fabric. We use biodegradable film. I mean, even when we were in full high production, we just found biodegradable film was so much less labor than landscape fabric. And what I've learned is by planting at the really proper time for whatever transplant you're planting, to make small holes, plant on time, which means the plants grow quickly to create a canopy. We were in high production. We didn't really whole weed because we tried so hard to plant the biggest transplant we could that was still easy to handle, get it in the ground so that it makes a canopy, and that just suppresses most of those weed seeds. But I just don't know that wet newspaper is going to make any difference. That'd be interesting. And it really depends on what weeds you're talking about too. Getting my beds ready. Which color of film do I put up, black or white? Do I put my drip irrigation under? Well, that would depend on what are you talking about? Making very early spring beds or your first warm season tender annual? For us, I have to look at when am I going to be planting my warm season tender annuals? If we're on schedule to get them in right at my last frost date when it's still pretty cool a lot of the days and just kind of warm to hot in the afternoon, but still not going over 80 degrees, I put the black side up. But if there's any threat of over 80 degrees, even for a few hours in the afternoon, I put the white side up. So it just depends. You have to look at your weather for 2 weeks after when you're making the bed and you're planting as to what to use. And you can put drip irrigation under it. How soon after planting transplants into the garden do you suggest you water? Immediately. I mean, we plant and then that bed is immediately watered. Then they move to the next bed and then they water. And we hand water all of our new transplants. We don't rely on irrigation for that. We want to be sure that every seedling gets a good deep drink. How long did it take you to get the seed starting process figured out and have beautiful transplants like you show on the show? I probably killed 50,000. Not really. I struggled hard the first 5 years. First off, I didn't have this building. I was doing it at my house on a carport. So my variables were very changing all the time. But it was getting a room that I could actually control the air temperature, like making it warm for warm season and opening the door and allowing it to be cool for cool season, that changed my life. And then just setting up and having appropriate light and, seedling. So I would say 5 to 10 years. And it's just doing it over and over and over. And again, yes, you kill a ton of seedlings, and that's what it takes. Practice is like I tell my flower farming students when they say to me, I just can't sell my flowers. I've been trying to sell to florists. So, how many florists did you go see? 4. Until you've gone to 100, I'm serious. That's what sales is all about, y'all. You are lucky to get 2 out of 100. You have to just keep doing it. And the same thing applies to learning how to seed start and grow great flowers. You have to just keep doing it over. Why do you think basketball players practice every day? Why pianists practice every day? It's the same concept, right? So that's what allowed me to wake up and realize. All right, we'll do one more question. Can you explain how and when to use CVBN, Quick Dip, and Flower Food, please? And do we use them together? And this is a question, I'll be answering this question all season because I understand it is very confusing. All right, so I was just going to grab them so you can see what they look like. All right. These are all flower conditioning products. You can find them all here inside the app. CVBN is a chlorine tablet that is not flower food. It is what is called a pre-treatment. This has nothing to do with nutrition. This is purely a bacteria killer. So when you have a bucket of water and you cut a stem, when you drop that stem into that water, there is an organic explosion that happens that just stuff comes out the end of the stem. A really great example is daffodils. You see how they run all that mess out? That's organic matter that instantly starts growing bacteria. Well, other stems do it too, but it just may not be as obvious. If you've ever had a clear glass vase with zinnias in it and all of a sudden the water gets cloudy, that's exactly what's going on. CVBN tablets, we put 1 tablet in every harvest bucket. Our harvest buckets are 5 gallons with 1 gallon of water and 1 tablet in it. That delays and prevents bacteria from developing. It buys you a couple of days of vase life. The flower sucks up clean, bacteria-free water first drink, right? So that buys you a little time. So I'm reading where was that question at? Okay. CVBN. So you use this to kill bacteria. Quick Dip is a hydrator, and we use this for a couple of different things. Its intended use is to revive wilted flowers, right? That's what the instructions are going to tell you about. You get roses and their heads are all down. That's because water can't get up the stem. You cut off a couple inches of the stem, then you dip them into this product straight, just fill a little shallow dish, dip your stems in for about 20 seconds, pull it out, then drop it back into flower food water. And the next morning, all their heads will be up because now their plumbing has been unplugged, right? Well, I learned from a 50-year veteran flower arranger that she puts Quick Dip into buckets of those plants or flowers that tend to be wilty. 2 tablespoons of this hydrator in a gallon of water. You can put it in with CVBN. And for those crops that are predisposed to wilting, I'm thinking basil, rudbeckias, any flower that you struggle with, you can use this. Okay. So that's 2 different uses. Again, this is no flower food. For nutrition, that comes either at the end when the person that's taking the flowers home and putting it in a vase. And that comes with using fresh cut flower food. That's the little packets that you see people get with flowers. That has a biocide, like the pre-treatment tablet, like a chlorine type of effect. It continues to kill bacteria. It has nutrition to keep the foliage green, the buds opening, and all that good stuff. And it has a pH balancer, which prevents air bubbles from getting in the stem, which can block the water going up. So flower food, typically as flower growers, unless you're selling retail, like at a farmer's market or something, you'll never use this. These are the products of our work is the CVBN tablets, holding solution, and I will just tell you very quickly, holding solution, then we're out of here. Holding solution tea bags is the flower farmer's version of flower food. It's a tea bag looking like a tea bag that you drop into the buckets that has in it. It still has nutrition, but not as much as regular flower food. It wants to just keep the stuff looking good, but not pushing it to bloom because you're not the end customer. You want to hold them. But it has biocide. It does all the things that flower food does. So a flower farmer typically uses pills for pretreatment, holding tea bags, and occasionally quick dip. The end customer uses flower food. And with that, my friends, we are going to wrap. So I hope to see you. Turn your notifications on. You do not want to miss my next pop up that's going to be coming in the next few days. And until we meet again, my friends. Oh, here she is. She's been messing with her arrangement. How cute is that? We're into this green stoneware vase phase around here, and it is a lot of fun. All right, my friends, can't wait to see you again. Sign up for the free masterclass. Ciao.